So driving across the body, we're going to be holding on to one handle with both hands. And the anchor point is off to the side, almost perpendicular to where you're facing. You can even have it slightly back behind you if you'd like to. If it's in front of you, it's going to reduce the resistance. Behind you, increase the resistance. And of course, I can move further away depending upon the strength of the rubber band to make it even more demanding. But for now, I'm going to start where I can manage the motion and be more focused on the quality of my movement rather than the quantity of the resistance that I'm struggling with. So with both hands holding, I can have the closest arm holding with one hand wrapped around like so. That may give a little bit more excitement to the muscles across the front of my body from this shoulder to the opposite hip. They will help contract a little bit more. If I have my outside arm wrapped around the handle first, with the inside hand fingers overlapping there, I may actually incorporate more force from the back of this shoulder down the back of my body across to the opposite hip. So those muscles may be engaging and extending and rotating me a little bit more. So you can play around with which hand you want to hold on to. There's no right or wrong, but you might find that one has better outcome when assessing than the other one. So you'll have to be the judge on that. Regardless, you're just going to be holding on, and it's almost like a baseball player where I'm going to be rotating, and I'm going to try and rotate basically all the way from my feet on up to my head. So I'm not just trying to rotate my torso. The trouble with that is I'm not actually able to rotate very well in my mid-back when I'm anchored with both hands to a fixed object. Instead, the rotation is going to come from somewhere else, most likely my lower back, which is not really where I want to try and target. The lower back is not really meant to rotate very much, so instead I'm going to get a lot more of my rotation, hopefully, from my hips and down into my ankles and my feet. So as I rotate across, I want to see that my belly button is almost traveling in front of me, and then I follow through. Very similar to a tennis player, rotating the hips, or a golfer, rotate the hips first, follow through with the rest of the body. If I am rotating everything at the same time, there's actually no opposition. The ribs and pelvis are moving simultaneously, so it really is just an isometric contraction of bracing, which in itself is a fine exercise. But what we're trying to encourage is the freedom of movement, the coordination of one joint to the next to create force production all the way through the body. So of course you'd want to try it on the other side, but chances are there's one side you're going to be a little bit more biased to the other because you probably need it more. Potentially you're slightly torqued to rotate in one direction, so rotating in the opposite direction may very well be a positive experience for you. But you won't know that until you assess, move, and reassess.